In the year 2039, there is so little air on Earth that it can't support life. Cities have turned into wasteland, and there aren't any trees left. Only a few people are left in the world, and they stay alive by connecting masks to oxygen tanks. In Brooklyn, engineer Darius has left the family bunker to clean the solar panels while his dad goes to the bookstore to get his niece some new books to read. The dad steps on some rotten wood on his way out and falls through the floor, hanging from the ceiling here. His oxygen pack gets broken in the fall, and he starts having trouble breathing. He hears about the problem and runs to the shop, where he tries in vain to free his father from the hole. Instead, he goes upstairs and grabs him by the feet. It works, but the man is already dead. After that, Darius goes back to the bunker to tell his wife Maya and their daughter Zora the bad news. The bunker has enough oxygen and plants for a pretty good life thanks to Darius's engineering skills and Maya's experience as a farmer. Darius says he wants to put his dad next to his mom, who is in a graveyard more than 5 miles away. Zora says he shouldn't go because he could be in danger, but Darius says they haven't seen anyone in 3 years, so he should be fine. After everyone else has gone to sleep in the bunker, Darius checks the machine that keeps it going and finds that the oxygen supply will only last 2 months. It even tells Darius that the system has been hacked, so he has to make a tough choice. Darius tells Zora goodbye the next morning and gives her the book her grandpa gave her. The security camera then shows Zora seeing Darius leave with the body. Zora uses the radio to try to get in touch with him and tells him odd things, like how he told everyone about the oxygen shortage and nobody believed him, but at least he got the bunker built on time. Darius never answers, though, and it's been 5 months since we heard from him. Zora and Maya do their best to stay alive on their own. Now it's their job to leave the cave and keep up with the machinery. Guns are always brought with them when they go out, but Maya still gets mad when she goes off by herself to get clothes. As long as they remember the password, the bunker's thick steel door should keep them safe for now. They try to keep each other company as much as possible, but when it's quiet, Darius' absence is very clear. Zora never gives up. She keeps sending radio messages about happy family stories from before the end of the world. Maya also doesn't give up. She often plants seeds outside in the hopes that one day they will grow. It's also her job to make computer mistakes look real so Zora can learn how to fix real ones. Zora says she'll look for her dad sometimes, but Maya tells her she's already tried that and won't let her go. Often, this leads to the same fights. One afternoon, after finishing up some maintenance, the two are outside when all of a sudden they see 2 people walking up with a shopping cart. They quickly hide behind an old car and watch as the strangers try to get into the cave. They fail, but it's strange that they knew exactly which door to open. At that moment, Maya and Zora's system tells them of how much oxygen they have left. At the same time, a stranger named Tess hears the noise and comes running after them with her gun drawn, while her partner Lucas climbs to the roof to look for other ways in. Tess carefully walks up to the car, but the women aren't there. Lucas is trying to warn her about something on the radio at that very time, but it's too late. Maya and Zora have already tripped her and are running to the bunker to get inside and lock the door before the strangers can follow them. After that, Maya calls and asks for an answer. Tell them they don't mean any harm, Tess. She and Lucas live in a bomb shelter outside of Philadelphia with 25 other people. They recently had problems with their air filtering system, so they went on a 3-day trip to find Darius. She says she is a scientist and worked with him at the university. All she wants to do is look at the system he made and copy it. She knows Zora and Maya's names, but Maya doesn't trust her because Darius never talked about her. Suddenly, Zora turns off the mic and gets into a fight with Maya over what to do next. Many people at the shelter are afraid they will die, but Maya doesn't believe the shelter even exists. Zora finally gets her mom to agree to help, because if Tess can really copy Darius' technology, they could make the world a better place. Maya tells Lucas and Tess to put their guns by the door and get down on their knees to wait. She comes out with a gun and tells Tess to tie Lucas' hands. Then she does the same thing to Tess's hands. After that, Maya makes sure they aren't hiding any more guns before leading Tess to the shelter. Micah comes out from cover just as they're about to go in and tells them to stop. At the same time, Zora comes out and starts shooting. Even though Micah is hurt, he still runs and pushes Zora into the bunker. Maya then follows suit and locks the door, leaving Tess and Lucas outside. When the mother and daughter walk into the main room, they point their guns at Micah and tie him up right away. After that, Maya calls Tess on the radio, and Tess tells her that this is all a mistake. To keep an eye on her, Micah saw her being tied up and taken away. He thought she was in danger. Maya tells her to leave because she doesn't believe what she says. Tess then says she'll get Darius' machine no matter what. Tess frees herself and Lucas with a knife, and then she says they're going to use the drill. Maya and Zora try to figure out if Micah's story is true while taking care of his wound inside. The alarm goes off all of a sudden, and the computer tells you that the system has been broken into. Zora and Maya try to look at the camera, but Tess has tape over it. While Lucas tries to open the bunker door with a drill, she is also getting the gun that Micah dropped. Zora finally has an idea, so she gets some mechanical parts and builds a small machine that she then leans against the door. She sends an electric pulse that breaks the drill when she turns it on. Tess doesn't want to give up, so she climbs to the roof and pumps carbon dioxide into the tunnel, which makes it very low on oxygen. They quickly put on their masks when the alarm goes off. Maya leaves to take care of the issue, and Zora stays to threaten Micah with a gun. But when he talks about his young daughter, she feels awkward. She thinks about it for a long time and finally chooses to share a mask with him as long as he answers her questions. Micah says they didn't kill Darius and that Tess really knew him before the end of the world. Lucas is supposed to be waiting by the door outside to attack, but he sees something in the garage and gets sidetracked. He pulls Tess there, but not before. The safety lock turns on so you can get in. That's when Maya climbs up on the roof and starts shooting, making them run for cover. The two quickly come up with a plan, which means Tess fires back at Maya while Lucas runs toward the bunker. Once they get inside, the masks can be taken off and the air is clear again, so Micah starts to fight against the rope. Tess suddenly comes out of hiding and acts like she's giving up. This is just a delay, though, so Lucas can jump on Maya from behind and fight her that breaks her leg. She hits him with a mop and hurts his ear in return. Tess, unfortunately, comes up behind her and knocks her out. At the same time, Micah gets away and charges Zora. Zora pushes him off by putting her thumb on Micah's wound. When Micah finds her gun, he holds her there with the gun. After a few minutes, Lucas and Tess find the camera while Maya is still being held hostage. He ties up Zora and tries to open the door without the code, but he can't. Soon, he starts to feel dizzy from losing so much blood, and he dies right there. Lucas outside says he will shoot Maya if Zora doesn't open the door, but Zora can't say anything because the microphone is still off. Michael's radio is nearby, so she pulls it over with her feet and tells the group that Micah is dead and she is tied up. Tess tells Maya to open the door from this side, but Maya says that along with the code, a special badge is needed, and that badge is inside to keep people out. Maya finally gives in and says there is another badge, but it's a long way from where her daughter is. Since her car works, Tess agrees to go with her while Lucas stays to watch. Maya tells them they're going to find Darius on the ride. Maya found a note from him that said the machine could no longer keep the air clean for 3 people, but with only 2 there would be more time for Zora and Maya to figure out the seeds he had left to bury his father. This proves that Darius is really dead and that he didn't come back on purpose. Lucas likes it when Zora tells the computer to play some music back in the bunker. After a few hours, Maya finds Darius's body. She grieves for a moment before looking for the badge. The 2 people are ready to go, but the car dies right then. Tess asks for the badge and says that Maya can't even walk with her broken leg, so she won't be able to make it back on foot. So Maya gives her the badge and the code because she says she used to have a daughter and will take good care of Zora. Tess tells Maya that she will come back for her when she has more air in her tank. After that, Tess starts running back and finds a bike in the middle of the city. She rides it safely to the bunker. They get inside just in time before they run out of air with the code and the badge. Zora asks Tess where Maya is, so she tells her everything, even about Darius' sacrifice. But Lucas says he will kill Tess if she doesn't start working on the machine. Tess wants to go back with a new mask and get Maya. Tess opens a panel in Darius's invention with a drill and sees a very complex system. She has to accept that she doesn't understand it well enough to make it again. Lucas starts to lose it, which makes Tess finally admit she was lying. She had never met Darius before. She only found out about him and his family from Zora's notes on her radio. She knows enough about technology to help out back at the shelter, but she didn't think the machine would be this hard to understand. Lucas shoots her right away because he is so mad. Lucas sits next to Zora while she's having a meltdown and tells her that she already knows enough about the machine and the bunker to teach him how to use it. He won't free her, though. In the car, Maya thinks about her family as she sits there. She figures out that no one will come get her before her air runs out because she only has 21% left. She looks down and is shocked to see something on the ground. It's a small plant beginning to grow. For a second, she takes off her helmet and checks that the air is getting better, which gives her hope. Maya tries to charge the sun battery on the car because she wants to keep living. Lucas throws Tess and Micah's bodies out of the bunker to get rid of the smell. Then he grabs a food can, but Zora won't tell him where the opener is, so he breaks the can open himself. Someone tells him he shouldn't be here instead of going back to help his home, but he doesn't care. The alarm goes off all of a sudden, warning of a problem with the wires. Lucas agrees to let Zora go so she can take care of it, but he only gives her a short amount of air so she can't run away. When Zora gets to the roof and puts the wires back together, she finds that Maya was the one who messed with them. She wants to go back inside after a nice meeting, But Lucas won't open the door because he wants to see her suffer. The two then come up with a plan. The alarm goes off again a few seconds later, and Lucas comes outside to find Zora passed out on the ground. He kicks her in the dirt and starts to pray, but Maya shoots him, damaging both of his air tanks. Zora wakes him up when he tries to move, which makes him trip. Following Maya and Zora back into the bunker, Lucas is able to stand up and follow them. The bad air gets into the cover because he goes through the first door and then tackles them to get through the second one as well. When the warning goes off, Lucas demands oxygen and points his gun at the women, but Zora tells him that if he shoots, an explosion will happen. Zora and Maya go outside and shut the doors, leaving Lucas in a room that is broken. He lets them move to fix it. Lucas shoots his gun because he doesn't want to die slowly. The blast that follows kills him. Outside, Maya and Zora are able to stay alive with the masks and get away in the car, but they are running low on air. As Zora thinks about Micah's story, she drives them around the city to try to find the shelter. When they get there, the doors are locked, and they pass out on the stairs. Soon after, Maya is shocked to find herself clean and well rested. The people at the shelter heard them and came to help. Now Zora is giving them Darius's machine. A mother and daughter work together to plant new seeds and bring plants back to the world with the help of the survivors. If you like this movie, then don't forget to subscribe the channel.